Hello everyone, my name is Kihanti De Silva. Today, the productivity software that I will be presenting you today is called the Database Performance Analyzer. Before we go further, let's discuss why database performance is important and why it has to be analyzed. Modern day web applications require multi-seconds of response time from the database. In order to achieve this goal, it's important that the database is running efficiently and effectively. Some of the key factors why the database could slow down is simply because of deadlocks, bottlenecks, slow DB processing power, or simply just bad code. Code that's not written to its maximum efficiency will slow the database response time down. The optimization of this process speeds up the query performance. The amount of time that your end user has to wait for application is a strong indicator of your system's efficiency and performance. The DPA, which is the Database Performance Analyzer, it will review the time lapse between the queries and the response time to determine whether there are bottlenecks in the system. What Database Analyzer performs? It will give everyone on the same team a comprehensive view of how every aspect of the system affects performance across SQL database operations, host servers and OS systems, virtualization of resources and storage I/O, and it will quickly find bottlenecks and troubleshoot complex problems. The other important thing about the database performance analysis, the DB could be going around looking for the problem, and there could be many reasons what's causing the issue, but we could be fixing just one small issue which has absolutely little impact on the bigger picture. So using DPA, it will help us to find exactly where the bottleneck is, exactly which query is taking more time, and all the information about the exact query that's causing the trouble. The SolarWinds, the DPA, has pioneered a response time analysis. In these pictures, you will see the query request and the response time, and together it will calculate the bottleneck in the system. Okay, now I will take you to a live demo. So now you can see here the database, the DPA home page, where it will show down all the instances you have, the wait times, the query advice for each query, if it's causing trouble, the CPU space, the memory disk, and sessions. If you go down here, and right now there's only one instance because it's only connected to my database. You could have several instances, several databases. It could be Oracle, MySQL or SQL Server. It could be several databases running at the same time. So without telling you further, let's just start with this. Okay, so now I just went into my gPC server, that is my instance, and here you will be able to see all the SQL query wait times. Each query is assigned a unique color, so if you hover over it, you will be able to see the query that's taking all the time. Let me show you just by clicking on it. Here you will see at what time did it execute, which query executed at that time, and it will break down into most granular level. So I'm gonna click, looks like between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Here it cost a lot of time for the query to execute, so let me click on that. Sometimes the problem might not be as what it seems. Here it took 105 seconds for this query to execute. So if you click on that exactly, it will show you which query took all that time. The good thing about this, you can't change anything here, so nothing, the security aspect of a database is quite defined, and this will only pinpoint where the problem is. you can't really do anything here. You can just copy the code and know where it is, and you can change it there. It will also show how many executions it had for the amount of time period you selected, physical reads, rows processed, and logical writes and logical reads. So here it's between Sunday. I have given a time. Let me just not give a time and put to all the dates. So we are back at the trends column. Here you will see all the advisors given after analyzing the database each day, the recommended advisors. So if you go through one of these here, it will show it spent a significant amount of time on these wait activities. You will be able to see which SQL query took all that time. Again, all the data will be down below, so it actually pinpoints you where the problem is. If you click here, and you can give a name, let's say test 1. Check this. And if you I just clicked on view the historical graphs, so it will show you all the executions that happened in graph mode. So this has a graphical representation, making it easier for the DBA to read. Average wait time for that, and this is all in seconds, so it goes down to very granular level. And what time, which date, at what time did it execute, and how long did it take to execute. So this is all pertaining to the same SQL query that I have chosen. So if I go back, you could save this. And you can send this to another DBA or your team member to check it out. So let's go back to home and go back to the instance. Here the next tab would be resources. It will show you the total wait time, exactly where the lag was while it's running. Let's say in your application the database response time is really slow, so when you go through these charts, you will be able to see what was causing most of the what was taking most of the time. It shows a variety of charts. You can pretty much add any option you want by going through add resource chart. If you want data related to the CPU, you could go through that, or the disk license compliance. So I'll just go through the memory, and then I'll just check the SQL compilations per second. Okay, so there you go. So how many SQL compilations were done per second? It's all in this graph. Here also, if you click on one of this, it will again go back to it will break down the whole activity into the timeline, and will show you how long it took per every minute and every hour. So the further you go down, you will be able to arrive at your SQL statement. So within 4 to 5 clicks, you can get to the bottom of every problem in your database. Let's go back out again and come back. The third tab will be SQL text. So you don't have to manually take in any of the data, any of the SQL statements or queries to this. You just have to connect your database to this server, and it will run. It will take all your SQL queries into it and execute and see which one's causing and taking a lot of time. Here you will also be able to see the average wait time per day. See, the average wait time is 65 seconds and October 14th is less. And then on a typical day, what it should look like. So this is with just one database. So imagine the amount of representation it will have with many databases for a bigger company. In the weights column, you will be able to see the weights per every day. Let's look at one of the October 17 wait times. You will be able to see which query took how much time, and here this query took 1 minute and 43 seconds. So, and if there's any advisor, any advisors relating to the same query that we are hovering over, it will show down below as well. See, the write log seems to be taking most of the time. If you go, these are the advices that was given for the write log, and why it happens and resolved by whom and the solutions for it. So this is not only pointing you towards a problem, it will also show you what you can do about it. Next thing, if you go to the programs, it will show the report server, and this is just a program overview of it, and how many DB users. So right now I am the DPA here, so just 1 DB user. So if you click on that, it will go back to the same ones we had. So we just created this test one, so that's the one that was creating a lot of problems. You just have to take a screenshot of this or go right into one of the queries here, and you will be able to see what's causing all the trouble. If you go to the machine state, right now only GPC, that is my machine, is connected to this server, so you will only see this. You can have several virtual machines connected to the DPA, so you will know how much load is there per each server, and if you should switch servers to reduce the load. This is a very useful tool for a big company. The maximum load on a server could also cause the database performance to slow down. And the sessions, how many sessions we had. Here if you go to the files, this is the file. So all these will be all the analysis will be saved into a repository file that is created when you start the DPA program. So mine is saved in the DPA repository. And the drives, you could have several drives connected to this, and if there are blockers and plans. So if you go back out again, we could go to the storage IO. This will show you how much wait time is there per every day, and the read performance by file from top level view. If you click on that, it will show you the variation of performance per each query, and it will show you which query was that. So and this is actually which database. IT640 here is one of the database, one of the users schema. So you will be able to see through each schema which one had the highest performance. If you go into it, you will be able to see it goes down to very granular level. It goes down to each minute, each second. So you will be able to know here at 9:15 this caused a lot of problems. So you will be able to find which query took so much time to execute. And then there's a current tab and the resources tab. Signal waits per second, the CPU utilization, instant CPU utilization, the memory. This has all the graphical interpretation of batch cache size, buffer cache size, log flushes, log bytes. and all the charts relating to your disk, that will be here. SQL disk write latency, all the latency graphs are here, and if you go to the network, you will be able to see how the network fluctuated over the time. So this covers many bases at the end. And here in the sessions, you will be able to see the transaction rate, the active sessions, batch requests, and the total wait time, the total instance wait time. So this could have many instances. This. The most important aspect of this is when everything is pointing towards many SQL queries, you don't know which one to find, what's causing a lot of trouble. Within 4 or 5 clicks, you will be able to find out which SQL query is taking so much time to execute, what's taking most of the CPU space. If you could change it, if you have to reduce the load given to one virtual machine and put it to the other, or if it's an internet connection problem, or if there's a blocking issue, if there are deadlocks in the system, you will be able to find it through just 1 or 2 clicks through DPA. So through the calculating time, through the time analysis, the time to send the request in and the time calculated to get the response back, they find out the most efficient way. They found out the most efficient way of checking which query is causing problems in your system. Here, if you go to the reports column, you will be able to see the gPC server top SQL queries. And you can see all of them in the text. If there are any alerts, so here if there are any problems, it will come straight to your dashboard, so your inbox won't get full. You just have to be connected to this, and it will keep running in the background. It will not cause any other problems to your system. This just has to be running in the background. It will not cause any troubles. You just have to keep connect all your servers, all your machines to it, and it will make your job easy for you as a DBA. So this is the presentation that I have about my productivity software, which is the Database Performance Analyzer. Again, why it is important is because if you have a very slow performing database, a slow application, that takes a lot of time for you to get the response from your database, it is worth to go into this software tool and see which query is causing troubles, find out all the bottlenecks, and if there are any deadlocks that's causing this slowdown in your database. With this tool, it will eliminate a lot of time that's spent on solving queries that has very small impact on the database, and it will focus on the main issue. It will find out what time it happened, what day it happened, and which query that took place in your database. This optimization tool will speed up the query performance in your database and in turn give you a higher return. So try out Database Performance Analyzer and reap its results. Thank you.